Hello, good morning and welcome back to the Fish Locker, out on another stunning day on the boat. I feel really spoilt actually. This will be 2 days in a row that I've managed to get. And for this time of year, it's not very common. It is bitterly cold. When I say that, it's the first proper frost that we've had this year and my fingers are blue. So yeah, I don't expect that I'll be taking this coat off for a while. We came out yesterday. We had a hard day's fishing, but speaking to one of my friends on the way in, I ended up having to actually tow somebody in, so that cut my day short. Speaking to one of my friends who was fishing on the opposite side of the bay, he said that he did see a thresher shark yesterday. So trying to take the opportunity, all I'm going to do today is I'm going to have a quick run out, try and catch some fresh bait, have one drift to see if I can find it. If I do, fantastic. If I don't, it's no real loss. And then we're going to try and finish the day anchored up for some rays and some bullhuss. The reason being is because although it is flat calm now, the wind does pick up into the east later on, and that does make the bay very uncomfortable. So we'll be finding somewhere sheltered to try and fish later on. That's the plan. We'll see how it goes. Found that one though. Bro, 3 cracking mackerel straight away. All I'm using for these is a set of really small sabikis. These are some cracking size mackerel. So all I'm using for these, you can see, is a set of tiny sabikis. Get 3 or 4 more like that, that'd be perfect. Get some water in that bucket as well. Another massive one. Straight in the bucket. Coming in thick and fast now. Tell you what, I wish they were this prevalent in the summer. One more and we're good. Yeah, they're beasts them. What I'll do is, we do dispatch fish, but rather than take the time to dispatch each one straight away, all I'll do is, oh, there we go. Oh no, he's off. Tell you what, and he's back. He thought he'd have 2 bites of that. What I do is keep them alive in a bucket until I've caught enough, and then I'll dispatch them all at once. As you can probably see, it is a bit of a lumpy day. This is what an easterly does to the bay. It just makes it real sloppy. Now I've got my rod out in the background. I've got 1 flapper bait out for that thresher. Now I've discussed my shark traces in other videos before, the shark fishing videos before. There is a video on the Fish Locker workshop channel showing you how I make my shark trace. But it's basically just a 10-foot length of steel wire, and then I think this is the size of these, 12-0 Cox and Roll Mutsu circles. Nothing fancy, but does the job. And I have one of the mackerel I caught earlier, one of the big ones. I flapped it off, which means you take the backbone out and it's just got a flapping bait. That's just drifting away in the tide. I don't know what's that, 60 to 70 yards away. We are in 125 feet of water. We are drifting that way back to Falmouth. I planned it so we've got an ebbing tide and we've got wind and tide together, so both of them are taking us in that direction. I'm going to run one drift all the way back. At the same time, I'm going to be fishing a couple of different types of slow jigs, just for fun. As we get into the shallower reef over there, I might try and put a live bait down to try and catch a bass or a pollock. We're just trying to take this last little bit of an opportunity, just because thresher sharks, they move through here. They transit through up towards the Isle of Wight in the summer and they move their way back down in the winter. So we're just catching the end of the transiting fish. And we've got quite a bit of bad weather coming as well. So I'm hoping that we can capitalise on today, have a good day. Thresher sharks are incredible. A real long scything tail. If anybody who doesn't know, they're built like a bullet with a real long scything tail, and they use their tail to whip fish. Incredible creatures. As you can probably see, we're back inside now and we're anchored up. Now I had a nice long drift along the reef and just didn't catch anything. Didn't even have a bite. Playing well with the slow jig, I had a couple of small wrasse, but nothing really worth showing. And the wind did pick up quite a lot. So we've brought ourselves in here and I've just got myself anchored up. And we've still got a little bit of the ebb, so the tide is going in that direction, so I've anchored up here. As soon as the ebb finishes and it starts to flood, we're going to anchor up in a different place. The rigs that I'm using on these rods feels heavy, that actually. Quite a light hook length this. I wish I'd put a heavier hook length on. On this rod and the other rod, all I've done is I've put my locked in lead, a rolling lead, and a 3-foot hook length baited with a strip of the fresh mackerel that we caught earlier. The target is rays and bullhuss. Where are you going? You're going on this way. Putting up a good account of itself in this tide. Male rays often do scrap hard. Right. This is a male thornback ray. Tell it's a male by these claspers here. Now, he's actually being quite rude. And he has got his little fella out. Which is there. I'll protect his modesty and I'll show him this way around. He has actually also got a leech. He's got a saltwater leech hanging from one of his tendrils here. Don't know if you can see that. Horrible things. When you're picking these rays up, you need to be careful, because if you can see, they have got really, really thorny cheeks. There. And thorns all the way, hence the name thornback ray. If you grab them here and here, there is a squishy part. And what I'm going to do is, he's actually taking that up quite deep down. So I'm going to fill this tub full of water and put it in. let him sit in that tub of water and calm down for 5 minutes. And then when he's finished being all angry, we'll get the hook out of him. The trace, literally, all it was a little locked in rolling lead like that, and with a 3 foot 25 pound fluoro hook length ending in a 6/0 chinook. I will show you it once I've got it out of the fish. In the meantime, on the other rod, what I'm going to fish is I'm going to fish a 2 down rig on a sliding ledger. So there, look, 4 or 5 foot total hook length with 2 hooks on, and these are 4/0 specimen extras. These are going to be my bullhuss traces. And all I'm doing is I've cut the mackerel up into slithers like this, and you just push it through, turn it over, push it through, turn it over, push it through, turn it over, until you have filled up the shank of the hook. Like that. Then I'm going to take a little piece of bait elastic and give it a lash. All I'm doing here is I'm anchoring the bait to the eye of the hook. Will you calm down? Hear him blowing bubbles in there. There, look. And that's it. Do that twice and that'll be ready to cast out. The reason why I use one of those rolling leads, that little round leads, is because all you need to do is you just cast it out into the tide, like I'm going to do with this one. Stick this one down here though. Cast it out into the tide and leave it, and what will happen is the current will pick it up and will roll it along the bottom until it finds a little gully. Now the gullies are natural holding points for food and for fish, so if you can manage to, you might not be able to cast to it, but the tide will take you there and you'll end up in a gully. That's ideal, because that's where the fish hold up. There you are, there's the hook length. It's actually an 8/0 chinook, not a 6/0 that I'm using on this rig. There. And that's 25 pound fluoro. Oh, it's been chewed up a little bit. Every time I bring my hook lengths in, I always check them. That little bit of chewed there, that'll weaken your line. And that one time when you get that really good fish and you don't want to weaken your line, it'll be that one time when it happens. So all I'm going to do is I will take off like the end 6 inches that are damaged. Tie it back on. There you go. That is 3 feet long. All I do is I've just got a long strip of the mackerel. Start at the tail end because it's full of sinews. Through, twist it over, pull it through, twist it over. And then slide it up to the eye. Give it a tiny little pull and then whip it on with some bait elastic. When I'm fishing from the shore, I'll coat the whole bait in bait elastic just to give it a little bit of strength and hold it in place. Here, all I need to do is I just need to anchor it to the eye so that it doesn't slide down over the hook point. There. Hook point well proud and some bait flapping about in the tide. Perfect. That ray is probably about £5. You don't very often catch males round here over £5 or £6. If you're looking for a big one, it's probably going to have to be a female. And we'll let that find a gully. Now let's check this one, see what's going on with this one. water. Ah, little bullhuss. And that is a prime example of a little bullhuss. He is maybe about 3 or 4 pound. Lovely sandy colour. This is what I think's pecking at us down there. Right, I've managed to catch the little things that have been pecking at me. I said to you that it would be a little huss, didn't I? Look at that. Perfect little huss. Give a hell of a bite on them, just greedy as anything. And just nothing to them. This thing will be lucky if it weighs a few ounces. And he's absolutely mullered that base as well. Generally with them, if you can get the eye out, if you can get the eye of the hook out of their mouth, you can get the hook out. Because all you do is just, oh, don't you dare. Ooh, nearly got me then. There, you just lever it out of their mouth. There we go. Now with a ray, you're better off giving it a chance, because a bullhuss will come straight in and steam round and go all the way to their mouth. A ray, your first bite could just be finding it, then it has to position it in its mouth. That little bullhuss will scratch me up on the back of my hand, that cheeky little. Another little tiny huss, an angry little. These are called a greater catshark or bullhuss, also called nurse hounds. Didn't think it'd be long before these guys joined the party. And there's your dogfish. In fact, this gives me a chance to show you the difference between a dogfish and a bullhuss. They are from the same family. A dogfish is a lesser catshark and a bullhuss is a greater catshark. A bullhuss, which is this one, you can judge immediately by its size. They're a stockier fish, but also on its nose here they have these two little flaps. A bullhuss has nasal flaps. Now look, a bullhuss has nasal flaps, a dogfish doesn't. Not only can you see, look at the width of the head. Bullhuss, dogfish. Yeah, they do seem to have, the tide has actually just changed, so like I'd said, that they were going to come on the feed with the flood. That's exactly what they've done. As the tide started to flood, fish have come in on the feed. Got one nibbling on here. Oh wow, we have a big one and a little one. What was I saying? That they do grow big. That's a proper one. And at the same time, I've also got a baby one on the same trace. Yeah, that is a proper one. That'll be £10 that. I don't know how well you can see what I'm doing here. Now look, I've locked its tail down in between my legs to hold it, and I'm holding its head so I can unhook it. Now look. They are incredibly strong. This feels like it could be another one. There it is. Oh, you see what I mean about spitting the hook right next to the boat? That was another one of about £5. Get back in that bucket. In the meantime, unhook this little one as well. Can you believe that two this dissimilar in size? I mean, that one there could be this one's great grandmother. Took baits the same size and on the same size hooks. Just goes to show how greedy they are. That was the trace. It's just a sliding ledger. Now look, sliding lead and a two down rig of about 5 foot long. Nothing complicated about that, was it? Now we are. Clip on a pre-baited trace and you're ready to go out straight away. It saves so much time. All I do is I make up 4 or 5 spare hook lengths, and then when there's nothing going on, when I'm waiting for a bite, I bait them all up so that when I bring one in, if it's chewed up by a dogfish or a bullhuss, or if the bait's gone or anything like that, all I do is I just clip on a fresh one, cast straight out. If you haven't got a bait in the water, you're not going to catch a fish. Oh no, that's what it is. A hoofing great male spider crab. That's why it was coming up just like a solid weight. Yeah. Get a photo of this guy. Yeah. Look at that great monster. See all them sponges on him. This is big enough to eat, but I'm not after spider crabs. There we go. I've unhooked this bullhuss now. This is about average stamp that you're going to get, like £4, like a dogfish, but with a wider head, these nasal flaps, and generally bigger spots. But very occasionally, you will find. Oh, that's a good bite. Why didn't you tell me? Bullhuss. Definitely. Real aggressive and then just lets go. We're properly swinging round at the mercy of the tide now. Now the wind has changed a little bit. I was planning on going anchoring further down there, but it's not going to make the fishing any easier. We're just going to be swinging around even more. Time's it. I will give it another 3/4 of an hour here. I want to get that. I'm going to get that big girl there on the scales. Look how wide its head is. Okay, on scales, but that's £10. Another very spotty bullhuss. I think it's fair to say that the little ones have come in on the feed. They're just down there in like a pack attack. I think what I'm going to do is I will fish these last baits out. The ones that I've made up, I will put back out. And then the rest, I will, when I've finished with them, I'll bring them in. The reason why I cast them a little bit away from the boat, not only so I'm covering a larger area, but also you get boat noise. Around the area underneath the boat generally is not the best place to fish unless you're in really deep water, because the little bits of banging around that I do on the boat, the noise will transfer through the water and the fish will hear it. I'm going to break down these rigs. I'll have my sandwich and a hot drink, and then we'll see about going. It's another nice Huss. Using the tide well. Oh, it bit my life jacket. That was close. That's another big fish, that. Ah. You see him trying to bite. Look at those teeth. Look how hungry he is. Hooks out. Look at that. Yeah, hungry guy. Oh, he's had my finger up. That's an eel, that. We had a couple of bites there and then it just went solid. That'll be a conger eel, that. That's taken that into a hole. That cheeky mare. A couple of little bites on it and I thought I'll leave that because it might be a ray. Well, it's an eel, it's taken it into a hole, cheeky bugger. Not much you can do in that situation, especially not when you're fishing light like this. No way I'd be able to bully it out of there. Just got to try and leave it and hope it comes out of the hole. Right, it's come back. Something little pecking at that other rod as well. This little bit of a session in here, not only did I think that it would fish well for bullhuss today, also it was a bit of a tester because I wanted to see if the whiting or anything had moved in. Sometimes catch cod and whiting here on this mark as well, but not yet. Another lovely one. Like I say, if you can get the eye of the hook out, you just lever it. There you go, like that. They're a cracking fish, aren't they? Go on then, why not? One last cast. One last cast. Come out to the hole and spat the hook. Oh, look. Oh yeah, that's nicely. I don't know if you'll be able to see there on the camera, but that hook length there is nicely rubbed up now. That just goes to show there, if I'd have got frustrated with that being snagged and I'd have pulled for a break, I would have lost that. I would have lost all this rig. All I did was just give it a little bit of time, just a little bit of patience. Yeah, the rigs that I was using today were dead simple, aren't they? Just my locked in lead and a hook length with, this is a 6/0 chino. I was either using a 6/0 chino, an 8/0 chino. I usually use the 8/0s for my live baits. It was just because I still had the hook on there. And 4/0 and 2/0 specimen extras. Perfect. Fresh mackerel that I caught today. Don't know if I'll be able to show you this bite. See it there, look. There. Can't have missed that one, surely. There we are. I don't mind ending on that. The last cast of the day has brought another nice bullhuss. Well, lovely coloured spots on them, aren't there? And I don't know if you can see it, but that eye in there is just incredible. This one again, oh, four or 5 pound. They are very aggressive. If you're going to come fishing for them, you need to watch your fingers. And there you go. They are a cracking colour, aren't they? No drama with them going back either. Right, we've come to the end of the session now. I did keep the 2 best bullhuss back. 2 best bullhuss. It was quite difficult to say that. I did keep the 2 best bullhuss back in this pail of water so that we could have a look at them and so that I could get a decent photo. Now, the best one went 12.6 and the smaller one went 11.2. There is a cracking brace of bullhuss. Fantastic fish, aren't they? Have a look at the bigger one. Now, they have got some wicked teeth in them. You can keep them, you can eat them. We aren't going to. I'm going to let these go now. What I will do is I will take a photo and then I will record them going, and hopefully I'll be able to put that in the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed joining me today. It's been another difficult day's fishing, but that's all part of fishing, isn't it? I've enjoyed myself. We had a good long drift out there and I definitely gave it its chance, but just nothing going. That's why it's always good to have a plan B or a plan C. Now, I had planned that if it wasn't going to fish all right here, because we did come in here a little bit early. I came in here when there was still a little bit of the ebb going in that direction. Now that we've got the full flood, and the fish came on the flood like I expected them to. But he fished really well here. There's no point moving. Just kept it really simple. I was live baiting out there for bass and pollock, and I had a bait out for a bigger fish, but it never came about. That was just like a wild card. That would have been amazing if we could have seen it, but the simple rigs that I was using here was just running ledgers or with a locked in lead so it rolls around, and the hooks were just Chinos and Specimen Extras, just standard good strong gear which you need for bullhuss and thornback rays. Yeah, it's been great. This might be one of our last boat sessions of the year because we're unfortunately we're coming to lockdown in a day or two, and then yeah, who knows what's going to happen in December. I guess that's it. Thank you very much for joining me. All the very best. Stay safe, and we will see you soon. There goes one. Giving a slough as well. Come on, lad, you've just nearly had my hand off in the boat. Down he goes.